Hello, good afternoon. Good morning.
Hey, brother.
What's up, brother? Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Welcome to Active Reload. We were gone last week. You know why we were gone last week?
Why?
It was my fault last week.
Yeah, it was.
I did it last week. I got sick last week. I got sick big time last week. Fluids going out of every hole you could imagine.
Yeah,
it was gross.
Sounds like every
Not
night
great.
for you.
It was a weekend. Let me tell you, it was a weekend to remember. So you know what I did?
I had a bad flu as well.
Played a lot of video games. I probably got it from him. That's kind of the running joke in the office. Just Grant gets sick and then just pass it around.
Except for you would have got sick 2 weeks after me. Is that even possible?
Yeah, actually. Remember COVID? 14-day incubation period? That was the whole thing? That was the whole thing.
Oh, yeah, I remember. Wish I'd forget.
That was 4 years ago that started. Can you believe that? You know what else came out 4 years ago? Doom Eternal. Hey, been playing Doom. Very good game. First Doom and the second Doom. I like Eternal more, actually. Really quickly, let's go through a rundown what we're talking about this week. Welcome to the show. It's episode 41, if you can believe it.
Yep.
What's your favorite number 41? That's a bad one to put.
I'm trying to think of a football player number 41.
I'm trying to think of anybody with the number 41.
Should have said last week or 2 weeks ago, I would have said Mike Allstott, number 40.
Okay. All right. 41's like a fullback number. Safety number, too.
Yep.
So, no, I have no idea who 41 is. Apple, ever heard of them? Kind of big. They lifted the App Store ban on game emulators, which is actually kind of cool.
Yeah, it's really cool.
It's going to be really cool. If we can start emulating stuff, there's plenty of games that could play on Apple iPhones today.
Yeah.
Especially emulated.
Yeah.
Do you think like I'm thinking like Super Mario 64 could probably play on our iPhones today?
Oh, yeah. Easily.
Which is crazy to think about.
I used to be able to play Super Mario 64 in 2002 on my crappy computer, and it played it flawlessly.
Crappy computer. That was the brand, too.
Yep.
Crappy, a computer company.
It was, what's
GCC.
it called? HP.
Oh.
Horrible product.
Aren't they still around?
Yeah. They're pretty good now. Hewlett Packard.
Oh, yeah, you're right. That's such a weird... Nobody would think of that. Developers will be responsible for ensuring games are legal when they're doing that, so we'll talk more about that. We're going to talk a little bit about games preservation. We're on two opposite sides of the spectrum here on this, I think, a little bit.
No, we're not.
We are.
We are.
You're like, let me fill my entire garage with video games for the rest of my life. No. And I shall live.
I'm on both sides. Not because I'm on the side of game preservation. It takes digital and physical to do it.
Playing both sides.
Yeah, it's pretty true.
Sean Connery would say.
Playing both sides.
So, yeah, we're going to talk a little bit about game preservation. Pretty cool stuff.
Yeah. Outlaws.
Star Wars Outlaws, big trailer. They leaked something, but it was them that leaked it, so it's not really a leak. It's kind of weird.
Ubisoft.
And then we got a trailer, which I was kind of cool. I was kind of excited for it. Thought it looked cool. Thought it looked really cool.
I'm going to rip it to shreds.
Two opposite sides of the spectrum once again. Stellar Blade is not doing so stellar. Or is it? I don't know. I have no idea.
It's actually doing good. That's what we're going to talk about.
Yeah, that's probably what we're going to
do. It hasn't even come out yet.
Honestly, here, ladies and gentlemen, you want to look at what scraping the bottom of the barrel looks like? It's right here. Because that's where we're at in this week of the show.
People aren't here for news. They're here for me and you, James.
Oh, not here for news. They're here for me and yous.
Oh, God. Right? I hate you so much.
How about that?
Solid.
Thank you. So welcome to episode 41. Let's talk some video games. I want to start off with first.
What?
Before we talk about Apple.
Yeah.
I didn't play Doki Doki Literature Club.
It's okay. I'm going to start it off with Doki.
No. Don't spoil it, because I actually do want to play it. But you should apologize for not apologize. You should make a correction on what you were talking about last week.
What are you talking about?
2 weeks ago.
What are you talking about?
It's not a weird game.
Okay. Some might have thought from what because I was trying to describe Doki Doki Literature Club without spoiling anything. And it is a romance novel that is an adult game, but it's not an adult only game. It's not an AO game.
Not an AO 17.
Those don't come to Xbox at all. It is an adult, like a mature game where like kids can't play it.
But they're high school students.
Yes. and they are over 18. They make sure to tell you that.
Sense.
Play the game, James.
Were you 18 in high school?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. You were 22 in high school. I forgot.
I was, because I mean, a lot of people are. A lot of people
22? No, not at 22. If you're 22 in high school, look.
If you were born in September, you're either going to be the youngest in your class or the oldest in your class.
I was born in July. I was always the youngest.
There you go. You could have been the oldest.
22 is absurd.
I wasn't 22. What
22 is college. That was the joke. But I was making the joke, and then you said, that would totally make sense. That's fine. That's not fine. If you're 22 in high school, let's give up. I'll be honest with you. Let's not go back.
You're a narc.
Just get into the other parts of your life.
You guys didn't have that problem over here. Where I'm from, we would go to school and we would see obvious police officers disguised as
so what's up, my
students?
Fellow kids?
Yeah,
like that's right.
And they're like, where do I find drugs? Yeah, he was very odd. I mean, there'd be like 4 a year. You're like, hey, this guy, no one's seen him before. Who is this guy? He looks like he's 30.
And he's wearing like a red blank T-shirt.
Yeah, he's holding a skateboard.
Pants, and he's got a sideways hat. Awesome.
Oh, my fellow.
I love that.
The great meme.
And what's up, my fellow kids? Okay, so second question for you.
Yeah.
That I forgot what I was going to ask. Dang it.
Doki doki?
Oh, no, what I was going to say, if you're 22 in high school, let's, give up. But here's the thing.
Don't give up.
You can go to college, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
You should never not extend your learning ability. Okay, you can be 60, go to college. I don't care.
As a matter of fact, I highly recommend you to not go to college right after high school. Get a job, work somewhere, get some life experience. And then by the time you go to college, you're going to be like, wow, these people are idiots. Yeah. And then you can get your own education like the best way possible.
And you get a little bit of money on the side.
Yeah, and you don't like fall for $100,000 student loan.
Yeah, student loan debt out the wazoo. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Which is funny coming from me because I did not go to college. But maybe I will in the future.
Yeah, you might.
Maybe I will in the future. Okay, hey, you want to talk some video games? Apple, hey, you need a college to go there. You need to go to college to go there, probably. Maybe.
Yeah,
I would assume so. Some sort of software engineer degree. Hey, they do everything you've ever heard of. They do TV. They do games. Do they do games? They do games.
They do.
They do mobile games.
They do some games.
They do everything. They do phones. They're everywhere on our lives. They're gonna be They're gonna be making cars as well eventually. And now
it's gonna be like $5 million for that car.
We're kind of already there.
It's the same. You can get
and people will buy it.
You can get a Apple computer for, I don't know, 10 times, 5 to 10 times more expensive than what the actual parts are.
Here's a PSA. Don't buy Apple computers.
We've made this PSA before.
Don't buy Apple desktops. They are robbing you if you're buying an Apple desktop. They're
even an iMac.
Robbing you.
I think iMacs are cool.
Yeah.
But it's just not worth it.
A lot of the integration for iMacs are really cool.
Yeah.
But
great cases.
The amount of the difference of money from the desktop stuff that you would get from an Apple does not outweigh the stuff that's connected. Don't do it.
Inside baseball here, a lot of people in the arts prefer like Adobe products, by the way. Right. Talking about Adobe products almost exclusively. So if it's sound design, which is Audition, and Photoshop, Illustrator, all that stuff that you need to do graphic design and artwork and that kind of stuff. Everybody at these big companies, probably like at, I'm not going to say Microsoft or Apple, but say you're at Google.
Yeah.
They would probably, the workers would say that it's easier to work on an Apple computer.
With Adobe products.
With Adobe products. Right. I call shenanigans.
Whoa, you're calling BS on that, huh?
Yeah, I do.
Bull crap.
Well, because first of all, even if that was true, the software runs better on Apple. Even if that was true, your Apple computer is going to die 15 times faster than your PC. So,
and at 10 times.
And even if it is better, I can't tell the difference. And I work on both, or I have worked on both in my career.
It's on 10 times the cost too. So your PC is going to be cheaper to replace the stuff that's actually inside than it is to replace the entire Apple.
Well, yeah, I was about to say, you can actually replace a video card if it burns out or something.
You'll have to replace the entire, and they look bad, I'll be honest with you. Regular PCs, you can customize like the case and everything, and you can make it look however you want. The Apple ones look terrible. They do all look bad.
But iMacs look really good, and they save a lot of space, and it's a pretty powerful little tiny computer, although it's how it's like $2,500.
$2,500 or something, which is absurd.
You can $1,000 off. You can get a top of line
very
computer.
Solid PC or
not
PC.
a gaming, not the top of line gaming, but top of line
Right.
for artwork and stuff.
Yeah, you'll get a PC. Also, laptops, like top of line laptops, are way cheaper than that.
Yeah, and here's another PSA. I'm looking at you, Virgil. Although it's going to bite me in the face.
Little Verge.
Gaming laptops are terrible.
True, don't do that.
But Virgil's doing it, and he's doing it just fine. So,
well, Virgil, guess what? You're going to switch to it.
But guess what?
Like,
I bet.
Why did I do this?
This is my brother I'm talking about. I bet you can't play that laptop on your lap without third-degree burns.
Yeah, that's true. Or the battery dying within 30 minutes.
Exactly.
Yeah. Not really a laptop at that point.
Yeah.
So Apple, they're going to make emulators.
Yeah, they're not going to make emulators.
Excuse me.
So there's a situation in the UK and in America where some sort of dispute over monopolizing storefronts, digital storefronts, right?
Yes, Fortnite ran into this for a while. I think there was another Apple game that was kind of catching fire that ran into a similar issue.
Was it PUBG?
I was going to ask that if it was PUBG too. It may have been PUBG.
Because they took Fortnite off of Apple, but it kept it on the Google devices or whatever their phones are.
Google Play Store.
And then Epic Games didn't like that. So things are changing, and now Apple's like, hey, you can have emulators on this thing. They've always said no to emulators.
Right. A lot of the problem with what Apple was doing in the beginning was because they were taking a huge cut of whatever Fortnite or whatever online game store was making. They were taking like in-game currency and whatnot, whatever you would purchase through Fortnite, Apple would take like a huge cut of it, massive cut of it. And eventually Epic was like, we're not going to stand up for this. We're just going to not be on your platform, essentially. Okay. And then they left Apple, stayed on Google platforms, Microsoft platforms, or whatever phones you have. Android platforms, I guess, would probably be the proper.
Well,
and then they came back, though.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
But there's still lawsuits going on.
Yes.
I don't know.
I think they did end up making, like, changing something. I can't remember what the exact wording of the lawsuit
But this is good news for me, and especially when it comes to the next topic with game preservation, because I think the best way to preserve a game are through emulators.
Right.
And now I guess it's a gray area of legality, but not really, because if you own a copy of Mario Brothers, you can download, I don't know, a bunch of copies of Mario Brothers online.
Okay, well, would you say that you own just that one copy of Mario Bros, or because you have the copy of Mario Bros that you bought, you own
because you own the copy, you can actually make an emulator yourself. Same with
so you're saying, okay, I see what you're saying. I thought you were saying there for a second that because you own one copy, you should be allowed to have all the other copies that are emulated.
No.
Okay. I
meant like you have the ability to make 1 million copies. You don't have the ability to distribute 1 million copies. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
But if you own it, it's yours.
It is.
Now, some games that need to be preserved, no one owns.
Such as?
Man, you're gonna make me.
E.T.
Yeah, no. Atari owns ET. They have that cop. Well, I don't know. Actually,
they don't have the copies anymore. Remember, they threw them. That was the whole story. They threw them in a big garbage dump.
I thought they tried to put it in the garbage dump to raise the value of the ones that people had.
No. Atari. It was such a.
Like
I think
diamonds.
from what I remember, it was such a huge flop for them that they were like, we just.
Well, they sold so much, and then everybody got rid of them because it was terrible.
What's another version? I guess stuff from like defunct studios is probably the big.
No.
The Blitz games.
Oh my gosh, no. PE or PT.
Yeah, physical education, known game.
Also, PT is one. We've done an episode on this. Yes. There's a bunch that you probably wouldn't think of. PT is a digitally only game that doesn't exist anymore.
I see what you're saying. Okay.
It doesn't exist anymore outside of emulation. And someone's hard drive like mine.
But that one kind of does feel a little bit unique because...
No, there's a whole bunch. You just got... I didn't write them all down.
But there's only digital... But what other game, other than PT, because it's a demo, has only released digitally?
A lot of games only... Doki Doki Literature Club.
No, I have the case for that and the poster on my wall. No, I'm just kidding.
Above...
Okay, all right, that's fair.
In your bedroom.
Whatever.
So there's a whole bunch.
So like a lot of indie games.
A lot of indie games and a lot, dude, it goes across the gamut, but mostly indie games get lost. Okay. But there are some big games that don't, I mean, look at, even though this is a physical there's a physical copy of Spec Ops: The Line, but there's also a digital version that most people were playing that are off marketplaces because of licenses not being
music
renewed.
Whatnot. Okay, that's fair.
But so there's a whole bunch of issues when it comes to that. Now, I'm a big emulator guy. If my iPhone could run it, I'm going to get DuckStation, which is a PS1 emulator. And what it does is it has some really cool
PS1 games?
Yeah, no, it has some really cool technology in it to where it takes those old warped PS1 textures, because I don't know if you've ever played a PS1 game.
Yeah, long time. Been a long time.
But it was all running on CPU, I believe. No, I'm sorry. It was all running on a graphics card that was really crappy. The games that only ran on CPU did not have this issue, which was it took all these textures and it warped them. Mm-hmm. So lines wouldn't be straight, especially when you got near a texture. Or if you were walking down a tunnel like Tomb Raider, it would start to get warped near the edges of the TV screen.
It looked like you were going through
it looked cool back then, but when you were trying to go back to those games, it looks god-awful, and it's very distracting. Now, what DuckStation does is it completely fixes that. Cool. And it up-reses it, of course. So there are some games like Tomb Raider that look fantastic in DuckStation, or Gran Turismo 1 and 2, which are really low-res games, and that texture problem happens a lot when you replay it on PS3 or some PS5 games. It's not on PS5 yet, but some PS5, PS1 games look awful.
I played the Spyro game on PS1.
Yeah. Okay, well, I
can't remember the name of it, but
that game looked great, but if you were to play it on a PS1 or a PS3, because PS3 is backwards compatible.
Yeah.
Or if it came to the collection, the whatever you call it, vintage collection stuff on PS Plus, it would look awful. So DuckStation runs it really well. Okay. Now, that leads into game preservation, which we're going to talk about. The new Xbox president, Sarah Bond.
Great name.
Great name.
The sister of James Bond.
Yeah, has established a new team dedicated to game preservation and backwards compatibility in future hardware.
Love that.
According to an internal memo shared by Windows Central, Microsoft has established the team to ensure the future-proofing of the current Xbox game library against future hardware paradigm shifts. Now, a paradigm shift is what I just explained with PS1.
Yeah.
When you future-proof your games, you're not gonna you're gonna avoid that problem. Sony sucks at doing that.
They're really bad at that.
Really, really bad.
That's why nothing is backwards compatible other than PS3 to PS1 or whatever.
Yes,
outside of that.
Well, there's PS4 games on PS5.
Oh, but that the leap is not as different.
And that is, I know it's really And if you want to play a PS3 game like Killzone 2, which is a fantastic game, one of my favorite games ever, you have to stream it.
Yeah. Ugh. Nobody wants to play a first-person shooter that way.
No. It's awful.
No. Yeah, that's so
I like Xbox a lot this generation, even though I know they're slacking when it comes to exclusives and doing weird stuff with Game Pass and first-party stuff. They always hit me in the feels. Yeah, I remember when I got a Series X and I popped in Time Splitters 3 and I was like, this looks amazing.
They're very good at preserving, obviously, the nostalgia that people have that brought them maybe to Xbox beforehand.
And Sarah Bond she comes from T-Mobile and Harvard and Yale, both Harvard and Yale. Yeah.
She also comes from MI6. James Bond joke.
And I was like, she's going to suck. I don't know why. I think I like Phil Spencer, and I don't know what Phil Spencer
Phil's leaving?
I don't know. Well, yeah, he said he was. And I don't know what's going on with Bond and him and
an assassination plot.
I don't know. I actually might be completely wrong, but whatever. Sarah Bond, good job. Good start. I like game preservation and I like backwards compatibility. And if you're thinking about, they're obviously making a new console. And if you're thinking about games to run and look better in the future, I'm all for it. I
appreciate that. But what I will say, the game preservation, that I don't necessarily understand which is funny because I am kind of putting my foot in my mouth here.
Yeah, go ahead.
Let's just say I'm becoming devil's advocate.
Sure. Play it.
The hard copy preservation that we get.
Yeah.
I don't love. I think I've turned from.
Well, what don't you love about it? You have to be more specific.
Well, digital is a better version for me.
Okay.
In terms of accessibility. I've told this already millions of times on this podcast.
Yeah.
My CD drive, my disc drive on my Xbox.
Doesn't work.
It does not work.
I wish it did because I'd give you fear.
Yeah. It doesn't work at all. Haven't played a single game through disc on my Series X since I got it, which was back in 2020. And from that point on, I was like, I'm just going to go digital at this point. They clearly don't want me to have disc games at this point.
No, they don't. Well, maybe they do. Well, maybe Xbox does. I mean, they seem like they do.
Here's the thing. They have Game Pass, which makes me think, do they really want anybody to have physical copies anymore?
Well, I think they're just trying to go through the whole gamut. I think you can have both. So I like physical games, and they're good, but they're just as fallible as a digital game when it comes to preservation. I mean, look at let's just say Spec Ops never comes back to digital storefronts ever. Right. Totally possible.
Yeah.
You can only have that 360 or PS3 disc, and it can only be played on a 360 and a PS3, and those don't last forever. I mean, look at 360s right now.
Yeah. And that's where I'm putting my foot in my mouth because I talk about that, but I also own...
You own a 360.
I also own NCAA. The only reason I have the 360 is for NCAA 14.
Yeah.
Spec Ops is backwards compatible, though, if you bought it digitally.
Yes, it is. It's still like you can download it right now.
Yeah, like Blitz the League is only a 360 game that will not become backwards compatible because Midway doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, so that's what can happen with physical copies. But still, it's the same.
It's also like so cluttery. You know how easy it is to just have my external? You're like, yep, this has everything in my life that I need.
Well, that's the only way you're going to be able to play. Let's say they never make an NCAA game ever again. We were going to find out after this year if it's terrible.
We'll see.
They removed that from digital storefronts, by the way. I own the digital copy on 360. That's the only way I can play it.
Yeah, they can't. Well, because they couldn't. Because they didn't. They technically, after the lawsuit in California, they didn't technically own any of the rights to the people that were in the game at that point.
That's right.
So
there weren't really people in the game. That was but they're just their numbers.
Yeah, I know, but that's how they got around it.
And
their
stats and
their 6 foot.
Hey, this is James.
Here's the 6'2" guy wearing number 2 at Texas A&M.
Yeah, here's
very good quarterback, but he's not Johnny Manziel. He's number 2.
Yeah.
He's quarterback number 2.
Yeah, here's Grant. 37-inch vertical,
right,
6'2".
Exactly. They had everything exactly. Except
great beard.
Right. Yeah.
Perfect
Doesn't
physique.
Sleep enough. Eye bags. Darkened eyes.
I didn't sleep very well last night.
Yeah. Anyways, so preservation. Hey, pretty cool, huh?
I also wanted to say that I really wish Sony would just buy DuckStation. Whoever built DuckStation from hackers from all over the world, I think, contributed.
Why is it called that?
I don't know.
Do they have all their ducks in a row?
Maybe, but it's awesome. If they can just get that system to run on PS5, which I know it can, because it ran on, people put it to Series X. Mm-hmm. What is it called? Developer mode.
Oh, right.
And it looked amazing. So get that on PS5. And so when you sell your PS Plus Premium and you sell it because you can play... Premium. Because you can play old PS1 games and PS2 games. Now you can play those games at a higher fidelity and it'll be worth the price of admission. I mean, I know it would be.
Yeah. You know one thing? Xbox has really gotten like the naming of stuff down very well.
Are you sure?
Live. Game Pass is a great name. I guess they don't really call it
Live anymore. The Xbox 360 was not a great name.
It's better than the Xbox One.
The Xbox One is a terrible name.
Yeah. So maybe they don't. But I will say, you know what? Oh, man, you know what I realized the other day? Series X is a terrible name. So I'm wrong. Maybe it's their software stuff, not necessarily their hardware. Because like Xbox Live is cool. That makes a lot of sense. Game Pass makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Reminds me of Fast Pass.
Fast Pass,
Disney, yeah. You know what I realized the other day, actually, about Game Pass that I don't think anybody really realizes?
What?
The Ultimate version, which is like the version that gives you Xbox Live and everything, as well as access into the Game Pass. Into Game Pass.
Into the Game Pass.
You can't pay a yearly fee for that. It's only monthly.
Yeah.
Isn't that weird?
It changed like a year ago or 2 years ago.
That's odd, right?
But you can
why
still
wouldn't they want that?
you could still kind of you can buy. I think you can buy cards that are still available at like Walgreens.
Right.
I know they've been discontinued, but I think they've had some like a 2-year stock. I think, and
you might be able to get it from your rewards
you can get
too.
basic. Yeah, I know you can. Monthly though, not yearly.
It's not yearly. Okay.
Yeah,
maybe I'm crazy.
But you can get a year of Game Pass, sometimes at a discount during like holidays. But I don't know if it's ultimate.
I just thought that was weird.
But it has to be a card. I know they were discontinued though.
Yeah.
Brother.
Anyways,
oh my gosh.
Xbox. Bad at naming hardware. Maybe good at naming software. Good at games preservation.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Anyways, game preservation.
Pretty
whatever.
cool, huh? Hey, do you like preservation?
What a concept.
Hey, you know what we say? Cheers to Sarah.
Yeah, this guy's drinking beer at work.
Nice little brewski. Just kidding. It's a Coca-Cola Zero. Not an ad. I just need a little pick-me-up, you know?
Yeah, I asked him to give me an energy drink, and he was like, what do I want?
Yeah,
I don't have...
Why didn't you?
Grant's
you
not
take
my
a
friend.
lunch break?
Because I had to go home and take a nap. I didn't have time for energy drinks.
That is such...
And you went home, and you have energy drinks at your home.
You know what I had today? I had no shameless plug, or no free plugs here.
Yeah,
I had a Philly cheesesteak. Oh, my God.
I know where from,
You know where from, but no free plugs. But, oh, man.
Oh, I would love that.
Pounding.
I used to live in Philadelphia, and that is a hard thing to replicate. And they do a good job, except for the bread. You can own that bread.
I think the guy's from Philly, though.
I know. I've talked to him.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Cool guy. He said he
You
was
got to get a whiz whiff, baby.
He said he was going to give me free fries next time you see me because I couldn't get fries this morning because the oil was down. So.
Oh, he'll hold you. I mean, you can hold him to that.
I'm not going to hold
He's a
him
great guy.
That's mean. I'll be like, hey, if you remember, cool. I'm not gonna say.
He
hey,
might
where's my
remember.
free
Yeah.
fries?
Just be like, hey, Active Reload video game podcast.
He'll be like, what are you talking about?
We talk about video games.
Yeah. Well, it was no free plug.
How cool am I? Me and James film sports in Sheridan, Wyoming.
We do. Hey,
and
ever heard
he
of
commentates.
baseball?
This guy commentates. Is very, very good, by the way.
Thank you, dude.
You blew me away.
Really?
Yeah,
it was
dude.
that impressive?
Yeah, you're great.
Okay.
Thank you. You have big shoes to fill, and you're filling them great.
That's true. Yeah. Shout out T-Jack.
Yeah.
Miss him every day.
But we were filling, and you said something to me that I've already forgotten what I was going to say.
Hey, sleep, kids. It's important.
I don't remember what I was going to say. Dang it.
I don't remember what you were going to say either. Was it at the game?
Yeah, you said something to me at the game, and I was like, oh, you told me. Sorry, everybody. Right back into it. You told me, hey, Grant, stop talking about video games here. We only do that at work. We're in public. We can't talk about video games. We need to look cool. Video games are cool. No.
He was trying to talk to me about Doki Doki Literature Club.
You know who the coolest kid in the world is right now? It's that video game streamer Sketch, who is the most uncool guy, and he's super cool.
I mean, that's true. I wouldn't say he's maybe not he's the hottest thing in the world right now.
Yeah.
That's what I'll say.
Yeah.
Maybe not the coolest, but that's
I think he's cool.
You know, he is pretty cool. I like him. I
like him a lot.
Sketch is awesome.
So we're talking about Sketch. I like streamers. He's a video game streamer, right?
Yeah, he's a video.
But he's more of a.
He's a streamer. Streamers, in my eyes, streamers at this point just kind of do a little bit of everything.
They would do a little bit of everything. He's just an entertainer or whatever.
It's entertainment.
Modern entertainment.
Yeah.
But he's really cool. I like that guy.
Special teams, special plays, special players.
He's really, really cool. I love him.
Yeah.
He's hilarious. I crack up every time I look at him, every time he talks. So
let's get back.
Anyways.
Hey, on topic here. All right.
Yeah, we're talking about video games, and it is cool.
Star
Wars Outlaws. Did you watch that awesome trailer, James?
Are you being sarcastic?
No. Did you watch the trailer?
Yeah, the trailer looks amazing. But again, it's a Ubisoft trailer. I don't know how much I trust them because I got.
No, that's true.
I got the trailers that are etched into the back of my mind forever.
Watch Dogs. Rainbow Six Siege. No. That was terrible.
Siege, yes. Yeah. Siege is a big one, especially now looking at where the game is today. And then 2, the Ghost Recon Wildlands one.
Oh, yeah.
That every time I watch it makes me cringe into my own body.
Yeah.
Because nobody talks like how they talk in that trailer.
Hey, over there. Hey, someone's coming.
But it's not like
you got my back,
like,
James?
Yeah, it's not like... It's more like unself-aware version of that.
Yeah.
It's awful. It's so bad. It's terrible. Anytime I watch them, I'm like...
So, yeah, Ubisoft used to do bullshot videos, basically.
What is that?
It's a gaming term or in journalism, or what is it called? A gaming journalist term, especially in the magazine days, like EGM,
right?
You would have a game basically photoshopped to look a lot better in a screenshot.
Yeah.
They do the same thing in videos.
With their trailers, yeah.
So Ubisoft was really bad at that, or good at that. Whatever you want to call it.
Good at
Watch Dogs was another one that
Watch Dogs was
people were like, "There's no way this is running on PS3. Yeah. There's no way."
Yeah.
And it was all CG.
And then like the games journalist firms came out and they were like, "Yeah, you're right. It's not running on PS3 hardware."
Yeah, it's true.
That's correct. But
Killzone 2 infamously had a CG trailer that they tried to play off as gameplay. But
same thing with Rainbow Six Siege, though.
Yes.
That when that trailer came out, it was, and to be fair, it's
great lighting.
Yeah, the lighting was insane in that trailer.
And it didn't. That one isn't that bad because Siege did look like that. It doesn't look like that anymore. But when it first came out, it did have dark corners and rooms that you can actually hide in.
It was also like a lot of the destructibility for the most part in that trailer is actually pretty on par.
It was.
But yeah, like the lighting was insane. And then there was the clip in that trailer where like the hostage is leaning down and talking to the camera. That's not what happens.
Like, come here.
Never happens. What happens usually is you shoot through the door and then the hostage is dead.
The hostage does react to your drone though. It did.
Really? I didn't know that.
Back in the day it did, but it was more like leaning forward to you.
Right.
It wasn't as animated as the trailer made it.
Probably a good thing that doesn't happen because I wouldn't want.
Yeah, you can tell from
NPC,
someone.
Yeah,
that's a reason why they changed a lot of the stuff in Rainbow Six Siege. One, to keep the game on old consoles, but another one was to you couldn't have dark corners and rooms anymore because people were hiding in it, and the lighting in the game was made to look realistic. But when it comes to a competitive, fair multiplayer shooter, everything has to be lit exactly the same. There's a reason why Counter-Strike looks like that.
Touche. Yeah.
It's to brighten everything. You can't miss anything.
Right. You don't want to have people die because they can't see something.
Yeah.
Not a good combo.
Yeah. But Star Wars Outlaws, I don't think that trailer was...
Speaking of competitive multiplayer...
I don't think that trailer was faked.
I mean, you're probably right. I mean, that's probably fair. But I still thought it looked cool. Like, a lot of the stuff that they were exploring, like there was the big worm guy.
Yeah.
Probably CG. But if that's in the game, I think that's really cool. There's a lot of stuff that look, the way it's kind of being sold by everybody else is it's Far Cry in Star Wars. And that sounds great to me.
That sounds like the worst situation for me to play a game in.
Sounds great. You remember Far Cry? Did you play Far Cry 6?
Yeah, it's awful.
Great. I love Far Cry 6. Gosh. Awesome game.
Far Cry 5 was better.
Oh, no.
But still not that great.
You like Far Cry 5 better?
Yeah, way better.
Wow.
Way better music. It has great music.
No, I didn't like Far Cry 5 at all.
Far Cry 5 is the Montana one, right?
Yeah. I didn't like Far Cry 5. Good twist at the end.
Yeah, it was.
Really good twist.
I liked it. I liked I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of Ubisoft these days.
I think there was something...
Nor am I a fan of Star Wars anymore.
Stop doing that.
Touching the mic?
No. Stop bringing up Star Wars when I'm trying to talk about Far Cry really quick.
Oh, I thought we were talking about Star Wars Outlaws.
But hold on. Far Cry 5. The thing that I think maybe bothered me more than... Or not bothered me, but put me off to it a little bit more is it felt like it was something that I'd seen because I live in the location that they're kind of covering.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, none of this really surprises me. Like in terms of the environment. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it also felt like a bunch of French Canadians trying to portray Montana.
Yeah,
they have no idea. Rural American life. They just
no clue.
No clue.
Yeah.
But that didn't really bother me that much. I liked the bad guys. I liked the the occult.
Seeds. Joseph Seed is his name. Yeah.
I love the music surrounding that game too. I listen to that soundtrack a lot.
Yeah.
Some of the music, some of the songs that they were supposed to be parodying, backwoods,
like hillbilly country,
hillbilly Christian stuff or hillbilly church stuff, and a lot of Protestant singing actually. But they actually hired really good artists.
They did good,
and they did really well. Like it's really, really good. Some of the songs that were supposed to kind of be making fun of the Seeds or like kind of portray them as like cartoonish villains.
Right.
Some of them are really, really good.
Also, the thing that happens in those Far Cry games that always seems to happen to them is their intros are always really good.
Yeah,
Like the intro cutscenes are always really, really good, and then you kind of come crashing back to Earth
when they jump. Yeah. When the followers jump into the blades to bring the helicopter down, ooh, that was really cool.
And then, but every Far Cry game has had that. Like,
and then you play the game, and there's no FOV slider, and it looks like you're playing through a telescope.
I will also say a big problem with that game for me was the fact that they made it a generic, like, personal character.
Yes, that's true.
It's not.
I forgot about
character.
that.
It's just somebody who's.
Well, in that case, 6 is better than that. You're right. I was really disappointed because Far Cry has really cool
good
characters.
Like person playing characters.
Yeah.
Anyways, Far Cry 5.
But
if they do that in Star Wars Outlaws, it's going to be good.
Yeah, they do.
Which they are going to do.
They have this chick with another sidekick CG character in Star Wars with another sidekick droid or android character.
It's you're describing Star Wars.
Oh, enough. Another story where it's like, oh, someone is like down below and has to fight to redeem themselves, like some sort of revolution or revolution.
They're rebels,
rebellion, or some sort of like trying to. I think she is in debt with slavers, I believe, with like Jabba the Hutt. To me, I watched this trailer and I saw very, very janky animation, just like Assassin's Creed. I saw
how dare you
a main character who is not interesting whatsoever.
Okay.
I thought her voice acting. They didn't show her. They didn't really clip her voice very often in that trailer. Did you notice that? It was mostly the people around her. I
didn't notice that. I was looking at a lot of environments more than anything.
I was looking. I mean, to be fair, I'm not big on Star Wars and Ubisoft right now, so same. I was looking for faults. I was being biased.
That's funny too, because I'm very vocally not a huge Star Wars guy in general.
Yeah.
But the games have impressed me. Yeah. Granted, they weren't the last two. The Respawn games games. They weren't Ubisoft. So
yeah, it's a big difference.
Yeah, big difference. I don't know. We'll see. Ubisoft has been on kind of a stinker. Big time stinker over the last few years, question mark?
Almost a decade.
So. Yeah. I mean, I see you say that, but I still think the Far Cry games get enough. I think the Avatar game was kind of slept on a little bit.
You know what? You're right. I think that, but then again, this is what you're going to be doing in the Star Wars game.
It is the same thing.
It's an open world game.
Yeah.
You're going to be going to locations where you turn a switch on or climb a tower.
There's
to where
outposts.
Is it confirmed outposts?
I'd be stunned.
There's outposts and radio towers that you have to climb of some sort to unlock a fog of war of some sort. And just move on.
They definitely have a formula.
The same you're going to fight the same bad guy the very first 10 minutes of the game and all the way to the end.
Right, yeah, true. That's fair. I'm okay with that, though. Because I think if it's written well enough, that shouldn't matter, you know? Because, like, the Far Cry games do that same thing. But the Far Cry villains are very well known and very good. Granted,
but then again, Far Cry is a first-person shooter. It's just inherently, like, more fun-focused. I don't know, as opposed to story focused.
I don't know
like, this game is going to be a story focused game.
Yeah.
Whatever. Another story focused game is coming out.
What is that?
Stellar Blade, which I wanted to.
Stellar Blade?
Not so Stellar Blade. Stellar Blade is the most I say pre-bought, but pre-sold. What is that called?
What is that called?
When you buy a pre-owned game,
not pre-owned.
I know it's not pre-owned. Sorry. Wow.
Let's sit here in silence until we figure it out.
Well, either way, it's a.
What is it called?
When you buy a game early bought game? Jesus, James, what are we doing?
We're not.
Anyways, it's the most sold PS5 game that hasn't been released yet. Pre-ordered game is the most. What?
Oh no! What are we doing?
It's the most pre-ordered game on PS5 right now, which is telling because I think a lot of people really want a story-driven action game.
That actually surprises me, to be honest with you.
It does?
Because the way I had the same reaction as you had to Star Wars Outlaws as I did to the Stellar Blade trailer from that PlayStation.
You know what? I was there too. I was right with you. Remember we talked about that, and I said it looked like a bad knockoff of Nier Automata.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just wasn't blown away by
I actually played it because the demo came out last week, and I played it, and it's very, very, very good.
By the way, a game of the demo, rare. We haven't seen,
I know.
We don't see that very
It
often.
happens a lot with Asian developers.
Right.
They seem to do well. Actually, it happens a lot with games that have some sort of a budget, but nobody knows this franchise.
What it is. Does Elden Ring have a?
No, it does not.
One of the Dark Souls games have a demo. I thought
back in the day they used to have what are they called? Network tests. So betas.
Right,
they would have betas.
Okay.
So it's kind of like a demo.
Yeah, I guess so.
And yes, Elden Ring did have a beta, a very long one.
Okay. That's probably.
So it's probably
and that's what they've all turned into anyways at this point. Are betas.
Exactly.
They all call them now.
Yeah, I don't think there's any online components in Stellar Blade. At least I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But it satisfies my need for a Devil May Cry type of action adventure game. And oh man, this one's good. It's a lot like Sekiro.
Is it a JRPG?
No.
Okay.
It is an RPG. I don't know. It's not Japanese. It's not. It's closer to Sekiro. Is Sekiro a JRPG?
No, that's FromSoft.
I know, but they're Japanese and it's a role playing game. You know what I mean? It's hard to tell.
About that.
Genres suck in video games.
Yeah,
they really
you're not
do.
wrong about that. And that's
so I get there's RPG elements in Stellar Blade, and it is a Korean they're Korean.
Yeah.
Is it a KRPG? I don't think so. It's just an action role playing game, I think.
Man, you just brought something up about genres. That's a very good point.
Yeah.
We should have a whole episode about that.
We actually did, like, a long time ago. We talked, you mentioned what is a roguelike.
Oh, yeah.
And then we got it.
I hate that word.
Yeah, there's also roguelite.
Yeah, that
with
too.
With a T.
Hate it. I hate it so much.
Yeah.
I still don't even know what it means.
Castlevania. Metroidvania. Describes basically Castlevania 2.
I hate it. I hate it so much. Because most people, Metroidvania, I don't know what that means. I've never played a Metroid game in my entire life.
Have you ever played Prince of Persia? Did you play that new Prince of Persia game?
No, the one that just came out?
So there's a lot of examples of
So I'm thinking of like a side-scroller.
A side-scrolling game where there are obvious areas that you can't access yet until you get to a certain part.
I hate that.
They're like, hey, do you remember that? So you remember that? Yeah. Remember that wall of ice? Well, now it looks like you got a flaming sword. I wonder what this thing does. That type of thing.
Okay, so BioShock, the original BioShock is a Metroidvania.
Very close, but
not side-scrolling.
It's almost like that's an old school RPG shooter because it's just like Doom. There would be a red wall until you got the red key to unlock it.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's almost the same. Like here's an ice wall, and once you get the fire flame thing, you can melt it. But it's a little more open-ended.
Yeah. Luckily, and like I don't know if the older Doom was like this, but Doom, the newer Doom, kind of has the same thing.
Yeah, they do.
But it's very quick. Like, it's like you see the door and the skull is probably 15 feet away from you.
The old Dooms were Doom 1 and 2 and Doom 64 were very much almost you were in a hedge maze or a puzzle of some sort.
Yeah.
So
BioShock was kind of like that too, actually.
Yeah.
I hate that. I kind of hate that, to be honest.
All these genres blend. At this point right now, Stellar Blade, is it a JRPG? No, it's not Japanese, but is it model after JRPG? Yeah, kind of like Final Fantasy 16. I mean, I don't know.
That's
is
funny.
Nier Automata a JRPG?
Yeah. That's funny you bring that up because
I
was looking through genres on the Xbox Marketplace, just like sorting it by genre, and it always cracks me up to see, like, if you go to the simulator section, it cracks me up to see Microsoft Flight Simulator right next to Madden. I'm like, these are two way different games.
Those genres are bad. I think they do that on purpose.
Well, because it's supposed to be a football simulator. Like, that's what their selling point is.
I saw Call of Duty on a strategy game.
That makes sense. You know what? Hey,
is there a strategy in Call of Duty? Of course.
I will say that.
But it's not a strategy game.
But it's not a strategy game.
It's not like Civilization.
It's like the horror genre in movies. I think movies have a really tough time trying to define horror. Like, horror movies have a tough time defining what horror is. And for video games, it's just every genre. They should just be more basic. Like shooter, Call of Duty. Okay. Easy. Battlefield. Okay. Perfect. Sports. Madden. MLB. Whatever. NBA. Simulation. Microsoft. But not Madden, because Madden's not a simulator. Same with any of the other sports.
Wait, hold on. Hold on.
Okay.
Simulator. Would you put Gran Turismo in that?
Nope.
The game is called Gran Turismo, a driving simulator.
Nope.
Driving simulator.
Hold on. Okay, would you put Forza Horizon 7 in there? Or not Horizon. Sorry, Forza Motorsport 7?
I don't think it claims to be a simulator.
I think it does. If we go into the simulator section,
is F1 in there?
No.
Is F1 is a simulator.
No, that's the same version of like Madden. It's a sports game in that sense. So it shouldn't be in the simulator.
Okay, is Gran Turismo 7 a sports game? There's Gran Turismo Sport. There's one called Gran Turismo Sport. It's a sport for real.
We'll put
GT.
We'll put Gran Turismo 7 in there, but not Gran Turismo Sport. That goes in the sports section.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
No, I don't.
Maybe it's harder than we think.
You know, it is. That's my point. I don't just stop.
What about like
I like to do perspective. Is it a third-person action game, or adventure game?
Yeah. Is
it a third-person? Do you shoot? Is it mostly like Uncharted is a third-person shooter? I would call it a shooter.
Right.
Stellar Blade is a third-person action game. It's an action game, action adventure RPGs. Okay. There is shooting though too. Jeez, man.
Would you put chess simulator in the sports section or the simulator section?
It's in the simulator. It's not a sport.
Wow! Shout out to the chess people. I'm sorry, man. That's tough for you.
It's not a sport.
That's tough. What about Counter-Strike? It's an esport.
It's an esport.
So would it go in the sports section?
No.
What would it go in?
Digital sports section.
No, that's not a thing. Come on, that's not a thing.
I don't know.
We brought up a whole. That's a
big one too. Is a dart thrower that's a sport? Is darts a sport? Right? Darts are a sport. Sure. 100%.
Okay. Yeah. Sure.
Would you call a dart thrower a professional athlete? Is he an athlete? Yes. A bowler. Bowling is a sport. Are those bowlers athletes?
The way I always thought about professional athletes, if you are in a professional league with whatever you're doing and making money off of your profession, you're a professional athlete.
Yeah, but athlete's a weird term to call a bowler.
Yeah, but so is it for an esport athlete.
Exactly. I wouldn't call. There are very few athletes that are in esports. Not a very few. There's a lot that look like
esport athletes though.
Cyber athlete. That's the very first esport.
That'd be cool. I'd actually prefer that.
Cal, Cyber Athlete League, Cal-I Invitational. Shout out my little bro. He was a Counter-Strike.
We can't keep talking about your little brother, okay?
I was talking about my older brother earlier.
This is the second time.
Jesus, man. I have a family.
Yeah, I know. You know how many times I brought up my family? 0.
Shout out Will.
Actually, I probably have brought up Will before.
Yeah, you have.
Anyways.
Hope you're listening. Let's play some Siege. We don't ditch this guy.
Genres, huh?
Yeah, so Stellar Blade is the most sold game. It's going to be a huge hit. I will say, can I say something?
Souls-like. Another one.
It is kind of a Souls-like.
Another genre.
It feels like Sekiro, except for the animation is a lot more robust. So if
is it hard or not?
It's not as hard as Sekiro, not nearly, but it's not easy. Sekiro is all about, what is that called?
Sword timing.
The timing of your
counter
in your parries. It's all about parrying.
I love that.
Yeah. So Stellar Blade has a lot of that in it, although the parrying is not as one-to-one button click. It takes time for her to raise her sword up, and it makes it obvious because the animation is very big and prominent in this game. So her sword goes up a little bit slower than you would expect, so you have to hit that parry button a lot earlier, and the window's a lot longer than in Sekiro. But a lot of people didn't like the fact that it wasn't as crisp as Sekiro. But
different game.
It's a totally different game. I'm really excited to play this game. I'm going to buy it for sure.
Okay.
Not going to pre-order it because I don't do that.
Yeah, or pre-own it.
Like if this game can come out and it can be completely broken. Last game I pre-ordered, Star Wars. We're not going to talk about it.
I wonder how that's doing. I haven't heard anything about that.
Doing terrible. I've been keeping up with it. I want to rebuy it, but it's just awful.
You're going to rebuy it? Is that what you
one day. I love that game.
That's awful. Why didn't you just keep it?
Because I wanted my money back and I needed to send a message.
Okay, yeah. Well, they got it loud and clear when they get your money back again.
Yeah. That's it.
No, wait. Hold on.
We're leaving.
Sekiro.
Yeah.
Really quickly. Did you play Sekiro?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
Very hard.
Is Sekiro
extreme hard?
Like, so in like Elden Ring, it's all about kind of dodging. And in Sekiro, is it different where it's more about countering than it is dodging?
Yeah, Sekiro, there's no stamina meter.
Would I like Sekiro more Because I don't dislike Elden Ring, but I do love to counter. Like, that's one of my favorite things to do, to parry.
I mean, I think it's Sekiro is a way harder game.
That's what I've heard too. Dang it. From Soft.
So
I love your stuff. I love the fact that you're really good at making games, but I cannot be 2.5 hours into Elden Ring and still be stuck in the same location that I was before.
No, you're ridiculous. That if you're getting stuck in there, you got to find way. There are plenty of areas to go from where you're at right now that will level your guy up easily.
But I like to be told what to do.
Well, then you're not going to like that game.
You're probably right, honestly. That's why I don't think I've ever played it very much. Because I'm like...
You're like, what do I do?
It's like the John Travolta meme. I get out of Limgrave, and then I look around and I'm like...
go south. But I guess Elden Ring does do a thing to where, when it comes to the difficulty, there's at one point, is basically where I left off at, was you have to get good at one point.
Yeah.
At some point, you're going to come across where you're not going to level up for the next few hours, no matter what you do.
They're like, good luck.
You just got to...
We don't like you.
Respec or get good. And respecing is...
Yeah.
You need a walkthrough.
Stuff around, yeah.
Yeah.
That's the other thing, though. They don't tell you anything about when you're picking your characters. I had to look that up. I was like, what character did I pick here?
You're like, what does this guy do?
Yeah.
You're like, hey, take this ring of Schmalgamors.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm talking about.
What does the ring of Schmalgamors do?
Hey, here's your amulet. This is going to be very important for your run. We're not going to tell you what any of them do.
You can thank for that obscure game design that's extremely popular.
I hate it.
I mean, it does keep things interesting.
You're right.
In my opinion, I think a lot of game writers... They write terrible stories. If they were to just keep it as vague as a FromSoft game, I would have enjoyed it more.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, though, is...
Like, the backstory of this guy sucks.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's something you could hold against that game.
Yeah.
There's not, other than...
True.
Which, by the way, Destiny 2 just released the trailer for that god-awful DLC. And it's probably not going to do very well because it looks like it's just weapons.
It looks terrible.
Other than the DLC... other than Elden Ring, Destiny 2 kind of falls into the same thing where it's like there's an intro to this DLC trailer, and about 20 of the 27 words that the narrator said, I had no idea what they were saying. They were just words. And that's how Elden Ring is for me.
Yeah.
They're talking, and it sounds like they're speaking another language. They're not speaking another language.
It's very compelling, though. You're like, wow, this girl's...
Right.
Really cool.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
But what are you saying?
It's like the Truman Show. Like, I have no idea what you're talking
you're
about.
Like, she's missing an eye, and she has 4 arms, and she looks awesome. And you're like...
Why?
You're talking a lot.
Yeah. Why do you have 4 arms?
Why can't you explain to me as if I... Why are you talking to me as if we had met 1,000 years ago?
Why do you think I know anything about this world? It's the first game in the series.
But I like it that they do that because it's very confident. It makes From seem like they are very confident in their world building. Like there's something there. You can totally, you might have to have your own interpretations to fill the gaps of things that are obvious plot holes.
Yeah.
But I think that's kind of fun.
I don't like that.
I only like with From games.
Is another one that does.
Death Stranding has everything plotted out.
Least, but in the trailer, though.
The new one? Yeah, it's just...
No idea what's going on.
It's like...
you're flying through somebody's throat at one point in a little spaceship.
Yeah, we'll play the game.
I don't know what's going on. But even the first trailer for the first game, the baby in the oil. I was like, what's happening in this trailer? There were people floating in the sky. Everybody thought whales were coming out of the ocean, and they were all black. I had no idea what was going on.
Yeah, they're like,
God, there's Guillermo del Toro just standing there.
Why is he in this game? Can he make Hellboy 3? For God's sake.
Hellboy 3. Oh my God. Don't ask for that ever again.
It's the greatest comic book movie ever made.
Hellboy movies are bad. I'm sorry. Sorry to be that.
What are you talking? Okay.
Hellboy movies aren't good.
Yeah. Guess what sucks? Star Wars Outlaws sucks.
Yeah, it hasn't come out yet. At least Hellboy came out, and we know it's not good. Sorry to be that guy.
All right.
You know what? You should watch instead Pacific Rim. Those are good movies. First one's good.
I don't think that's a great movie.
You don't like Pacific Rim, really?
I think it's cool, but it's not as good as Hellblade. Not Hellblade.
No,
Have we been saying Hellblade?
No, Hellboy.
Hellboy.
Man, you need to sleep. Okay, let's...
All right, moving on. Notable games releasing.
We're going to run through this.
Yes. Notable games releasing this week.
There's a Fallout TV show. It's probably not going to be very good, but I got a little bit of hope.
Fallout TV show looks like I put that on here because there's not a lot of games, but Fallout TV show comes out this week. It looks pretty good.
Might not be terrible. Might not be. It's written by Jonathan Nolan. So
I'm watching Shogun, and it's
that looks amazing. I got to sit down and watch that.
Shogun is good. The last TV show I actually enjoyed was Game of Thrones season 4, and
that's a long time.
Yeah, and so this is the next best one.
We gotta get you into some more TV shows.
No, God, I've tried. They're terrible. I hate TV so much.
The Boys, so good.
No,
you gotta watch The Boys.
Nope,
it's so good.
I do like the memes that come out of that though.
Boys is great. There's not a better superhero product on screen or TV. Right?
I could buy that. I guarantee that. Fallout Special Edition is only coming to PC, dude. What?
You didn't put the little digits in between special. That's the whole pun.
I know. I didn't want to do that.
Pun.
The SPECE.
Yeah, get it?
No.
That's the joke. So yeah, they're coming out with a special edition. It's been out before.
Yes, I didn't know this.
Yeah, been out before. It comes out in a little nuke. Really cool. The casing is sick.
Packaging is really cool.
Packaging is awesome. And you're kind of, I almost bought that just for the packaging because I don't have a PC, but it's come out on PC before. They're putting Fallout 4 in here, I'm assuming. I'm not reading it.
They are.
So, and that's probably what the change is because when it was first coming out, it
76, by the way.
Oh, yeah, in 76. Yeah, that's a game.
All the Fallout games and all their DLC. And it comes in one package, and I thought it was coming to console, and I was like, gonna, shout it out. But I haven't played a Fallout PC game since 1999.
Yeah, but now you can. Pretty cool. It's all DLC.
Nah.
And it comes with a little nuke.
Isanzo is having a multiplayer event. You ever heard of this game?
Is that the one? Oh, actually, I know what this is.
Have you seen that trailer? It's amazing.
It's the mountain climbing one.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, I know what that one is. That does look cool.
It does look really cool.
Is it on console?
Yeah.
I might play it.
Oh, I'll play it with you. I love this game.
Yeah.
Isanzo is a fun game. One of the best multiplayer games that come out last year, maybe 2 years ago. And it gets no love, but I think it's awesome.
The mountain trailer that they're showing where people are falling off the mountain, that's a cool trailer.
Yeah, so Isanzo is a place in Italy. It's the Italian front in World War I.
It's also named after bread.
I don't know if that's true. It's all mountainous, terrain. And on this event, you have to climb a sheer cliff with rope, and people are shooting at you and throwing rocks at you.
Yeah.
Looks really good.
You can throw rocks at people.
It's a new map. It coincides with the new map that they're releasing for free.
Very cool.
And this is a $15 game, by the way.
15?
Yeah.
Wow.
Great graphics, too.
You know what else got great graphics?
What?
Grounded.
Grounded for PS5. It's coming to PS5.
Do you need another survival game in your life?
Have you played
Grounded?
Have you played Honey, I Shrunk the Kids?
Oh, yeah, that's how I was going to say that. And it's not played, it's watched.
Have you watched Honey,
I Shrunk the Kids? Honey, I Shrunk the Kids 2 with a little baby walking through Vegas?
I forgot about that.
Yeah. That's a bad movie. Yeah, if you ever wanted to be in Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, play Grounded.
Yeah, sounds good. It's an Xbox exclusive on PS5 now.
Have you played
Switch?
Have you played Ark Survival Evolved, but you said, I want to be smaller?
Yeah.
Play Grounded. Okay, that's what's coming out.
All right, what are you playing?
I'm going to run through mine.
Yeah, go ahead.
Doom. Doom's amazing. Love it. Love every second of Doom.
Wait a minute.
Remake 2016 Doom.
Wait a minute, buddy. Did you just say what?
Doom.
Doom, which one?
2016 Doom.
Okay. 2016
Doom, the remake, I guess is what it is. It's amazing. I love Doom. Another game that kind of throws a bunch of things at you that you have no idea what they're talking about.
Yeah.
They introduce a whole bunch of lore that you're like, okay.
But it's not forced that you.
No, it's not forced. You're right.
I don't think I've read one.
The main important thing, though, you're in hell. You're killing demons. It's really cool, and nothing makes you feel more powerful than glory killing a demon and then dropping down, glory killing another. It's super cool.
You know what I do? I think 2016 Doom is better. I turn that stupid flashing color orange and blue. I turn that off. You don't need that.
What?
You don't need that. It's clear when someone is stunned.
Yeah, you're
and
probably
it's
right.
clear when someone is super stunned, which is the orange version.
I always wondered what the difference was.
Yeah.
Because I had no idea.
The orange version is a super stun where your melee does a different animation, a more hardcore animation. I think you get more back from it, like maybe ammo or something.
Wow. I played this game 3 times.
You do not need that flashing orange to do it. The window is short, though, without it. It's hard to tell, but you can tell. Just do it.
Just do it.
No one cared. No one's really aiming for the orange anyways. It's just
I'm just aiming
melee.
for the glory kill.
Yeah.
Also, Left 4 Dead 2. Oh, it's so good. Tip for you.
Wait.
Tip for you. Wait. Tip for you. Left 4 Dead 2.
You're playing Left 4 Dead 2?
Yeah. Over the weekend. It was pretty fun. Left 4 Dead 2. Tip for you. if you get there's a DLC pack or something like that for Left 4 Dead 2 that is still purchasable.
Yeah, Dead Reckoning or something.
Yeah, but if you purchase it, you get all of the Left 4 Dead 1 campaigns. Mm-hmm. So you don't have to have Left 4 Dead 1 on your console and or PC if you get the ones on Left 4 Dead 2. And it gives you the weapons from Left 4 Dead 2, the melee weapons from Left 4 Dead 2, all in the Left 4 Dead 1 maps. So do that instead of going and getting Left 4 Dead 1. Yeah. It just makes more sense.
Do you know why they did that? Valve did that because
wanted to play Left 4 Dead 1.
Of protests, an online protest.
Really?
That went nowhere. It was a boycott of Left 4 Dead 2 because people were still playing Left 4 Dead 1 and they didn't want to ditch games. And then Valve, being a great company, were like, we're going to give you DLC of part 1.
The older campaigns, yeah. And then Left 4 Dead 2 came out and they were like, this is actually a good game.
Yeah, that's another thing. Like, it was a lot better than 1.
And then Back 4 Blood came out and everybody's like,
what is this crap?
I'm going back to Left 4 Dead 2.
Okay, and I was going to say, 2016 Doom, can you turn that off and tell me what you think? Are you still playing it?
You're asking me to turn it off?
Yeah, turn off that visual feedback.
What if I don't want to?
Do it. I bet you'll like it more.
Why?
Because
I'd like to be told when they're super stunned.
No, you don't need to. It looks better.
Are you telling me Doom Guy wouldn't have it on?
No, he wouldn't.
You're probably right.
Is that all you're playing, James?
Siege.
And Siege. I'm playing that too. I'm playing, I played Stellar Blade, played that demo. Went through the whole demo. It's a pretty robust demo. Played it for a couple hours. Then there's a boss rush mode, which gives you more bosses to fight. And it's very hard, so I didn't finish it. But I also was playing Isanzo, which I think is great. Destiny 2. I played a lot of Destiny 2 last week.
Talk about a stinker. Sorry.
The multiplayer meta right now is auto rifles, scout rifles, and SMGs. Mm-hmm. And now it feels like a Halo game because of that. So I'm enjoying it, and kind of the rush of looking for the right gun to fit your playstyle is kind of fun. It's a lot of fun. That game is very polished. Like, is it?
It's taken them 10 years. No, it does.
I know, but it just feels really nice to play a super crisp, polished
I will never
game.
I will never disagree with you in saying, like, Bungie, of course, makes very good shooties. Yeah. They know what they're doing with their shooting stuff.
That's true. And finally, I am playing the game we made fun of a lot last year.
And you're liking it?
No. Immortals of Avium.
Oh.
Remember we made fun of it a lot with the name? I always wanted to play it because I want to play a new IP from Ubisoft. The story is really goofy.
Of course.
Very goofy.
The name is really goofy.
Kind of dorky. The main character you play as is like an angsty teenager. It's just dumb.
Why do we do that? I hate that.
And
we do that.
But it's got a gameplay loop a lot like Doom, by the way.
Okay.
So it's kind of cool. He does reload his hand power. Awesome. So he goes sort of in a.
That's like the scene from Mission Impossible.
Exactly. I don't know what you're saying, but I played that, and what I did not read in any reports, this game runs terribly. Terribly. The very first piece of the first to fire, the first thing you do when you're firing your hand weapons, the game runs at about 15 frames a second from 60. It crawls across that whole segment, and then you go into a long cutscene, very long cutscenes that you cannot skip.
It's like Metal Gear Solid 2.
And then you get there, and then you're shooting. You're like, oh, you know what? This is actually kind of fun. There's basically 3 types of firing with your hand. There's fire, ice, and another one, and whatever. They all counter each other.
Isn't this an EA game?
Yes. There's a shield that's pretty cool, but it runs awful. So I was like forcing myself to play it, and I was like, I'm going to get past this next level. Then I got to the cutscene, and it's just the story is really bad.
Yeah.
But I'm still interested in it and what happens next, because it's not. At least it drives a narrative of some sort. But I couldn't skip the dang narrative, and
Why you hated it so much? You wanted to skip the cutscene?
Well, I wanted to skip it because I saw it before. I watched the cutscene, then I went to bed, and the next day I couldn't skip it, and I was like, that's it, uninstalled. So I'm never playing that ever again. I tried it, James. I tried it.
They're called handguns. That is the only thing that makes sense.
Handguns?
Right. Get it? Because it's a real thing, and then you have a hand that shoots.
Yeah.
Right.
So episode 41, I thought that went pretty well, James.
We're probably over on time.
Yeah. Jesus.
No idea, but I'm assuming we are. So, hey, you know what? We're making up for a lost week.
Yeah.
That's
good
what
job.
we'll say. Make it up for a lost week.
I did my work today. Did you do all your work,
Nope,
James?
I got a lot I got to do.
Get
Not
your
really.
crap
Not
together.
Really. No, I'm basically done with everything. I was going to say something else really quickly regarding...
Happy anniversary, Grant.
What you're talking. Is it your anniversary today?
Not my wedding anniversary, my anniversary
Happy
of
anniversary.
Sheridan Media last
April
week.
Fools, that's right.
Yeah.
That was your...
We were going to talk about it last week,
right.
but you showed up sick.
And then I was sick, yeah.
And
That's
shout
so
out
funny you were hired.
to my bosses, Bob, Jim, and your mom, Julie. My
Didn't need
favorite.
to say my mom.
I
You
know,
say
my favorite.
Julie.
My favorite bosses ever. Julie's awesome. Your mom. I'm going to call
Yeah.
her. What? I
She's
don't
cool
like.
as
I
heck.
don't like that you.
She's cool as heck. I would know. It's my mom. Cool
She's
as heck.
awesome.
She's top five moms of all time.
I love working at Sheridan Media. I'm very proud to be here.
Good. We're proud to have you.
Thanks, man.
April Fools. Just kidding. It is true. Happy anniversary. I can't believe it's already been a year. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah, it is.
All right, so
Here's some more baseball games, James.
baseball games.
Yeah, you're commentating baseball, and I'm
yeah.
gonna film it
baseball.
right next to you.
Okay, so we're gonna wrap it up.
Yeah.
This is it.
I'll talk to you
For this
next week.
week.
We'll talk next week. We're going to talk about the new game, which is a remake or a retelling of Brave Little Toaster.
That's a game that's coming out?
Yep, the new adaptation of the Brave. It's called the Brave Little Toaster.
Oh, okay. I thought it was going to be Cowardly Iron Skillet.
Nope, it's called the Brave Little Toaster. You play as a little blanket and a toaster boy.
See you guys.
All right, man. Later.
That's a good one, Anna.